Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dr. Hanis Safia binti Tukimai. Today, I will present about edible vaccines, which are one of the most innovative ideas in modern pharmacy. Edible vaccines are not just imaginations, they are actually being researched in real laboratories since the early 1990s. In fact, the first success was reported by scientists at Cornell University in 1995, where they successfully produced an edible vaccine prototype using potatoes for hepatitis B. This shows that the concept is scientifically real and supported by biotechnology research. Traditional vaccines usually require injections, cold storage, sterile needles, trained nurses, and proper clinics. Because of this, millions of children in poor countries do not get vaccinated on time. The World Health Organization has estimated that more than 1 million children die every year from diseases that could be prevented by vaccines. This is why edible vaccines are important, because they can be delivered through food like bananas, tomatoes, and rice, meaning vaccinations can be done without needles, without pain, and without refrigeration. This invention is powerful because it can make immunizations cheaper, more accessible, and more comfortable for patients, especially in developing countries. Edible vaccines represent how pharmacy can use creativity and biotechnology to create a healthier and more equal future for everyone. Now, moving on how edible vaccines work. Edible vaccines are created by inserting a harmless piece of DNA from a virus or bacteria into a plant. Scientists usually use a method called agrobacterium transformations, which is a well-known technique used in plant biotechnology. After the DNA is successfully inserted, the plant starts producing a small antigen protein inside its edible part, for example inside the banana fruit or inside the tomato. When a person eats the edited plant, the antigen goes into the intestines. About 70% of our immune cells are located in the gut, according to immunology research. So the immune system recognizes the antigen and starts producing antibodies. These antibodies remain inside the body and protects us if the real disease comes in the future. So the person becomes immune even though they never took an injection. This shows that edible vaccines can provide immunity in a natural, needle-free, and simple way by using food as the delivery method. Here examples of plants used for edible vaccines. Many researchers have already tested different plants and fruits to act as edible vaccines. One of the most famous examples is the banana that was genetically modified to carry the hepatitis B antigens. This idea was chosen because bananas are soft, easy for children to eat, and can grow in many tropical countries. Another example is tomatoes, which have been used in research to develop vaccines against cholera and norovirus. Tomatoes are useful because they can be eaten raw, so the antigen is not destroyed by cooking it. Potatoes have also been tested for vaccines such as cholera and diarrheal diseases, especially in colder countries where potatoes grow easily. Scientists have also used rice as a plant-based vaccine platform for diseases like cholera and enterotoxigenic E. coli. Rice is beneficial because it has a dry form and is more stable in storage. These examples shows that different plants can carry different antigens, and each type may be chosen based on climate, storage ability, and which populations needs the vaccine. Now we take a look at the advantages and benefits from edible vaccines. Edible vaccines have many benefits that can improve global healthcare. First, they do not require needles, so they are painless and more comfortable, especially for children who are afraid of injections. Second, edible vaccines do not need cold storage. According to WHO, around 50% of vaccines worldwide get wasted because of poor refrigeration during transport. Edible vaccines can help reduce this problem because plants are easy to transport and store at room temperature. They are also cheaper to produce. Growing plant is much less expensive than manufacturing injections vaccines in factories. Another benefit is that edible vaccines can reach rural and remote areas easier because they do not need trained nurses, syringe, or special clinics. This can help improve vaccination rates in low-income countries. Finally, edible vaccines are more environmental friendly because they reduce waste from plastic, syringe, and medical packaging. So overall, edible vaccines are a creative and sustainable solution for the future of immunization. Although edible vaccines are seen as a smart future invention, there are still many limitations that prevent them from being used widely today. The first main challenge is dosage control. Every fruit or plant does not grow exactly the same. For example, one tomato may be bigger and contain more antigen, while another tomato may have less antigen. This makes it difficult to guarantee that every person receives the same amount of vaccine dose, which is very important for safety and immunity. Secondly, edible vaccines require very strict farming conditions. Plants can easily be affected by weather, soil quality, insects, disease, and farming environment. If the antigen levels become too low because of these factors, then the vaccine may not work effectively. Third, there is also a biological challenge. Some antigens can be destroyed by digestive enzymes, saliva, or stomach acid before they reach the intestine, causing low immune response. Scientists need to develop technology to protect the antigen through the GI tract. Another limiting is public acceptance. Many edible vaccines are created using genetically modified organisms. Some people are not comfortable with GM food because of ethical, religious, or cultural beliefs, so there might be low acceptance in communities even if the vaccine is safe. Finally, regulatory control is still unclear. Governments need strong policies, safety testing, long-term clinical trials, and international approval before edible vaccines can be allowed in public healthcare systems. This process can take many years and requires a very high investment and strong scientific evidence. In conclusion, edible vaccines have strong potentials, but many scientific, social, biological, and regulatory challenges must be solved before they can become a real global medical solution. In the future, edible vaccines have the potential to become a major part of global healthcare because they can solve many issues related to traditional vaccines. Scientists believe that edible vaccines could one day be used to protect people against modern diseases such as COVID-19, HIV, influenza, dengue, and even certain types of cancer. If this technology continues to grow, edible vaccines could combine nutrition and immunizations at the same time, meaning one fruit or plant could give vitamins, energy, and immunity in one serving. This will make vaccinations easier and more natural, especially for young children and people in low-income areas. In addition, edible vaccines can support environmental sustainability because they reduce plastic waste from syringe, reduce cost of cold chain transportations, and low greenhouse gas emissions from vaccine factories. With the advancement of biotechnology, genetic engineering, and plant science, future edible vaccines may be produced faster, more stable, and more precious in dosage. If governments and researchers continue to collaborate, one day people might simply eat a fruit or cereal to protect themselves against dangerous diseases, creating a new era of safe, accessible, and eco-friendly immunizations for the whole world. In conclusion, edible vaccines represent a creative and powerful future directions in pharmacy and biotechnology. They show that medicine can evolve from painful injections into something as simple as eating a plant. These inventions not only has the potential to reduce costs and improve accessibility, but also to make immunizations more comfortable, especially for children and people in remote areas. Even though there are still challenges such as dosage control, public acceptance, and regulatory approval, ongoing research continues to improve this technology. If scientists, governments, and industry work together, edible vaccines may one day become a real healthcare solution that protects millions of lives in a safer, cheaper, and more sustainable way. Therefore, edible vaccines are not just inventions, they are a symbol of how creative thinking in pharmacy and can change the world for the next generations. That's the end of my presentations. That's all, and thank you for listening.